International Film Festival, and thank you. We very much appreciate it, and we have a different event tonight. Normally, as we show films, we like to try to give you some background and some story that goes along with it. Tonight, we're showing The Wrestler at 7 o'clock show, and so what we've done is we've asked some local wrestlers who actually, some who made a whole career out of it, some that do it recreationally, and some who are, from the management end of it as well. So what we'd like for have you all do is all very casual. So we want you to, eat, drink. There's, we basically have a pound of cheese per person and at least 4 beers each. So please eat, drink, and enjoy. And we'd like you all to ask questions of these folks as we go along. And so don't be shy and take this opportunity to learn about the whole backstory of how to be a wrestler and how these folks came to do what they do. So thank you all for being here, and enjoy. So actually what we should do is probably start with a few questions. If anybody has anything that they've been wanting to ask a wrestler and figure out how this works, please.
If you're afraid of being singled out, trust me, we cannot see you right now.
Hey, could this lights be turned down some? We can't even see the people.
Joseph, can you? There we go.
Well, can you guys introduce yourselves?
Actually, that's a great thing. I'm sorry. That would be a great way to start. So we'll start from over there.
My name is Wes Lynch. I go as Wes the Best or Dirty Lynch Boy. I'm usually the bad guy, the one that everybody hates.
Matt Wolf and/or Shane Storm.
I am also Alan Lynch. I wrestle for XMCW out of St. Albans.
I am Man Pondo. I wrestle for IWA East Coast and pretty well everywhere.
I'm Fattawn. I do commentary for East Coast. Just pretty much Spondo's like it sometimes. It's emergency.
Does anybody have a question?
How do you all get started in wrestling?
What's that?
How do you get started?
Do you want us to go all the way down? Or? Go ahead.
Alright, let's see. August of 2000, I started training down in Nitro, West Virginia. And I had my first match around October of 01. And mine ain't that great of a story on getting started. It's just regular bumps and bruises and getting knocked around and paying my dues.
I went to a show probably 8 years ago here in Charleston. Talked to a guy by the name of Bobby Blaze who was training people down in Ashland, Kentucky. Talked to him back and forth. Ended up going down there, trained for maybe 4 or 5 months. Had my first match in November of 2001.
Same story, basically for me. I went to a show for the first time, a indie show in 2000. Seen that there was guys, almost me, out there doing it. And I thought I could get beat up too, so I started training in 2000 and had a blast ever since.
Back in I'll even move back even farther than that. There was a guy, I wasn't all that good a kid in school, and there was this guy, Roy West Jr., who's dead now, God rest his soul. But he more or less would, it sounds like a big pedophile story, but it's not a pedophile story at all. He would get me and like 3 other kids, boys, and take us out of town and let us go to wrestling if we was good in school. I was a terrible, terrible student until he started doing this. So, and he even got accused, of maybe touching us once or twice. And I'm sure if I'd asked him, he would have. But the thing about it is, I was always a big wrestling fan. I'm talking about from childhood, like I remember my great-grandma and grandpa sitting around the TV and kick his fucking ass and stuff like that. To me, I had never heard my grandma and grandpa or my great-grandma and grandpa cuss. So when I saw them and heard them doing that, that got me into this. So as growing up at Roy West Jr., I lived in a small town called Flora, Illinois. An hour and a half to the north was St. Louis, Missouri, and they had a company called Wrestling at the Chase. An hour and a half to the south, there was El Dorado in Carmine, Illinois, and that was a company called ICW, ran by Angelo Poffo and Macho Man and stuff like that. An hour and a half to the east was Evansville, Indiana, and that's where Jerry the King Lawler and all those guys were in their Memphis territory, but it would come to Evansville, Indiana. And then Chicago had just like everything, like AWA, World Class, and I even went to a WWF show, tells you how old I am. And Super Class 3, where Lawler took on, is anybody wrestling fans out there, where Lawler took on like Kerry Von Erich and stuff like that. And my mom actually calls me the dream child because since I was a little child, I told her I was going to be a professional wrestler, you know. I mean, a lot of kids say fireman, policeman, and all that. And my dumb ass always said professional wrestling. And so my mom to this day calls me the dream child because, you know, I just always focused in on doing it and lived my dream. And now I've been to like Japan, Australia, Germany, England, all over the United States, just professional wrestling, and now I'm making a career out of it, so, you know, I guess that's how you can say I got started. Fattawn, how did you start wrestling?
Donuts. That's about it.
Does anybody else have a question?
I just wondered, of all possible ways for you guys to perform, why you wrestle as opposed to being in a band or acting in plays.
Well, I don't know about these guys, but I don't look very athletic. So the best thing I can do
You want
is
us all to answer that?
Yeah, everybody. Why do you wrestle as opposed to performing in another way? Why did you pick wrestling?
I can't play an instrument. I can't sing. I guess I ain't good at acting. Well, I can't say I'm good at acting. I don't know. I can piss them off about as good as I can get on acting. Sport-wise, I was a fan of baseball. I'm a fan of football, but growing up, I never really played sports other than in the front yard where we lived at. Me and him are brothers. Where we lived at, we was too far out to travel to the schools to play sports. So it was usually me and him falling off the top of the house, rolling down the hills, climbing up trees and falling. And it just, I don't know, I guess every step we took in life and bumps and bruises brought us too close to the ring somehow. So, I don't know.
I've tried to do other things, but I'm really not sure. Like, honest to God, it's like a sickness. Like, you try to quit, and you can't.
That's the truth.
When you're not wrestling, you think about wrestling. That's pretty much it.
I've always been shy up in school. Never could get up in front of a stage or in front of a bunch of people. And when I started training, they threw me. I wasn't even finished with training, and they threw me out for my first match in front of like 300 and some people. And from that first time of walking out and being in front of that many people, and then being able to get into the ring, and I don't know. It's like you said. It's worse than it's like a drug. Once you get out there and you start just doing the show for you guys and just beating the crap out of each other and entertaining and hearing you guys, hearing the feedback from you guys, killing or cheering for us, there's just no other drug like it.